Alright, hello, welcome back to revisiting my top 10 primary weapons of 2024 video, and today, as you can clearly see, we have the Torid. So the Torid, I put it on the number 5 spot, but the Torid is actually the best weapon in the entire game, hands down. Nothing compares to it, obviously. I don't know why I even put it at the number 5 spot back then, I must have been drunk or something. And yeah, it's just a simple blast corrosive build, as you can see, over 100% crit chance and status chance. And yeah, this thing is just amazing, especially when paired with Revenant. And I've been really liking Revenant recently. I don't know what it was, but Revenant has been really good recently, and I've been loving him, especially with the Torid dual Toxicist and Glaive Prime combo. That has been very fun. So we're gonna go on a random void mission and showcase this real quick because I think it was seriously beautiful what this thing could do and how quickly it melts groups and everyone. And if I redid the video, it would definitely be on the number 1 spots. No cap. As you can see, I have an invigoration on my Revenant, which gives me 200% strength and immunity to status effects. The second part doesn't matter, but 200% strength is 200% strength. And as a result, we have 33 stacks of Mesmer skin and a shitload of Zara's Whisper. But yeah, as you can see, this definitely dismelts anything it touches. It is OP. Yeah. And a lot of people are saying that you need a Riven for this weapon to work, otherwise it doesn't work, and it's like mid and shit, but they're just using wrong builds, man. Look at this, I'm just running around with my Revenant Torid having a good time. I mean, I barely need to aim. When I run out of Zara's Whisper, I do lose a bit of damage, but nothing too significant. This thing just absolutely melts anything anyways, so... I mean, chaining Beam with over 100% crit and status chance, paired with Revenant. I mean, look how quickly that Eximus unit died. That is crazy. Wow. Absolutely incredible. I don't know, do I even need to commentate for this? I think the weapon just kinda kills everything on its own so quickly that I don't need to do anything. Because it's OP, obviously, it's the best weapon in the game. Oh wow, 4 Argon Crystals. We're extracting this mission. I was planning to actually abort it because I don't think it matters for me to continue any longer after you have seen this, because, you know, obviously it's way more than enough damage to kill anything in base Steel Path in like 1 hit, so it is really good. Especially with Revenant, you know, Revenant just makes this so much better, obviously. And Revenant is the best Warframe in the game, right? You know, I've been like liking Wisp a lot for the past, I don't know how many years, but do you guys actually know that when Revenant released, I was playing him more than any other Warframe? Mesmer skin, even back then, used to be such a good ability. Actually, back then it probably was even better than it is now. Not because you were getting immune every stack that was consumed. That got added after, which made the ability better in that nature. But you didn't need it, and also, the ability ignored self-damage, which back in the day was a thing. And that way, Revenant was the only Warframe that you could actually shoot the ground in front of you and ignore everything and just keep moving. You could, in theory, do it with other Warframes, but it wasn't worth doing it because you would consume any kind of stack of Iron Skin you would have, or like, you know, Nyx was too slow. So Revenant was just the GOAT back then, man. Not gonna lie. And I mean, he still is, but you know what I mean. Anyways, as you can see, very cool. Wow. I didn't actually kill that guy. What? Wow, he barely took any damage. Anyways, yeah, the Torid is OP, as you can see. Nothing compares to it. I don't know why people are even debating on what's the best weapon in the game. And I don't even know why my mind immediately went to Stalta. I must have been like really in love with the weapon back then because it's good with Wisp. And that's the only reason that it wasn't #1, man. This weapon deserves the #1 for sure. Like, why would anyone even put anything else into it? And the burst over this, I mean, look at this, bro. Holy, how can I put the burst over this? This is just incredible. Anyways, hey Malice, goodbye Malice. Amazing. What a seriously broken weapon. Alright. We can easily go find extraction now. Can we actually? There's a weird life support stuff, but I think it's this way. Oh. Close enough. Anyway, yeah, the Torid, yeah, it's just the best, man. I don't know. I don't know what it compares to. It's just by far the greatest weapon. It's in counter mode, it's just so overpowered and chains to everything and everyone, and it's just the best, you know? Alright, now the actual me, because, you know, I don't know how many people fell for the bait, but, you know, here we are. Don't ask what happened to my credits. The invigoration was real, by the way. This is the only thing I didn't lie about. Don't worry about my credits. I've been working on something pretty big. Like, seriously big. I hope I get it out soon, and I hope it was worth my time. We will see. But let's get real here. If you want to play Torid, right? You really like the Torid. You want to get the most out of it. Most people will do this, and Zada's Whisper is definitely the best subsume for this. No question about it. If you want to do this build, if you want to do Zada's Whisper, Revenant, you're free to do so. But you saw the gameplay is absolutely abysmal. If you want to unlock the power of this thing, you go this, then you go here, and instead of this subsume or this Evo, you go this Evo. Because 5% base critical chance does basically nothing. Like, seriously, it does basically nothing. Anyways, in reality here, what you need, easily, it doesn't matter which Warframe you play, because, you know, I could showcase this to Kome, because I have a Kome that has these. You need 5 of these. 5 of these, and the Torid is free win. It's genuinely free win. It doesn't matter what you pick after. You can pick Roar, you can pick Zada's Whisper, you can pick anything, but you do Toxin Blast instead of Corrosive Blast. And why do you do Toxin Blast instead of Corrosive Blast? If you notice, the status chance now is incredibly high. Because we picked the other Evo, the status chance is so unbelievably high that we can take advantage of the Toxin procs, and that way we can slot in Primary Blight, which is gonna do much better. But you're gonna say, oh, but you don't have crit chance with this build. Well, two things. First of all, if I wanted crit chance, I could just replace this. But I don't need to. But let's do it anyway. Would I even put crit chance there? No. I would put crit damage, because crit chance in Warframe is something that you can easily account for. If I want to get crit chance, I can replace this Arcane Acceleration, which is not a great arcane on the Torid, since Torid scales badly with fire rate. It's one of the few weapons that does that, which is why I think it's not the greatest, with Arcane Avenger. And this will give me 45% crit chance. And then I also have the Adar Zakavat, which gives me an extra 60% crit chance through Cat's Eye. You know, 105% crit chance, you may be like, okay, but my mods give like 200% with critical delay. There is no way it's like as good as critical delay. Well, critical delay is multiplicative to the 30% you see here, while the Adar Zakavat and Avenger buffs are additive. So instead of gaining 60% crit chance from critical delay here, I would gain 105% flat crit chance, taking this to 135% crit chance and 149% crit chance on this. So if I want to max it, and I mean seriously max it, I will go Wisp. And why will I go Wisp? Not because of fire rate, not because of everything else, but if I go Wisp and I have that exact setup, if I find the correct one, give me a second. Which one is it? Which one is it? not this one. No, 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 not this one. Okay, we found her. We have Critical Surge. Critical Surge is an augment that gives us 250% crit chance if we are going to our 3. So this is a bit more than Critical Delay, and if we just add the Adar's Akavat, this is guaranteed red crits on the Torid, and the red status chance are doing the heavy lifting. Like the red status shards, 300% status chance. The damage and DPS of this gets so crazy. And now, I don't need to go Zada's Whisper or but I can like, I think I will still showcase Zada's Whisper because I think it's still the better choice here. Now, as you can see, this build normally has a can acceleration. Because I'm using the Torid, I will swap this to Avenger, because acceleration will just completely destroy my ammunition on encounter form. This is the only like big downside that the Torid has, is that the ammo on the encounter form is barely anything. It only has 170, which is kind of bad. But the upside of the Torid is obviously it's huge damage, and if you want to maximize it with this build, then the huge damage gets even more huge. So we're gonna go to the same mission again and showcase that. But at the same time, you have to understand that this weapon, it is good. It has amazing features and amazing damages, and it is very brain-dead to use, but it has some big limitations. First of all, it's an encounter weapon. An encounter weapon that is pretty difficult to get on a public squad. On a public squad, nobody will wait for you to find an enemy and shoot them with your blob, right? It's same goes for the dual toxicist. Nobody will wait for you to headshot like someone 7 times with a dual toxicist. It doesn't work like that. But for a solo, both of these weapons are absolutely formidable and amazing. Now, the other issue that the Torid has is obviously its limitation to do other utility stuff like, you know, destroy boxes around the map, being good AoE. It is like really good AoE on an area, but its AoE is a bit weird, which is something that, you know, I don't know if you've seen a specific video advising people to use Prime Firestorm on this weapon. I can showcase that and I will feature it in the description, but it is pretty weird in the sense that this weapon can be so much more than it is right now, and it's just not. So if we do this and we do this, now, like, not only do we one-tap people anyway, but if we let the toxin procs run, the toxin procs are massive. Like, we get so many that it just absolutely melts anything. So if you ever have like issues with this weapon to get it past like level 500 or something like that, because I know that a lot of people do, then this build can definitely fix that. And you don't have to run Wisp. As I said, the shards are by far the important part, but Wisp, critical chance, it definitely helps you. Anyways, here's an Eximus. You see 67 toxin procs right there by touching him. And if we keep shooting, obviously these toxin procs will go up way higher. And that was without Zada's Whisper too. So there is so many toxin procs happening with this weapon when you shoot it with this build. So it also, you get the extra multi-shot and critical damage from primary blight. You know, this is a way stronger build than the previous one. This is night and day difference compared to the previous one. Obviously, we're on base still path, so you can't really see it, but if I were to, for some reason, take this weapon to level cap, I would hands down take this build. Eyes closed. Like, not even close. Against tougher enemies, like level, if you go to the Simulacrum, you put like level 210 heavy gunners, and you try this build versus the other build, it's like, it's not even close, man. It's genuinely not even close. So yes, if you're a Torid user, if you like this weapon, primary status chance red swords, they are your friend, and they will make this weapon absolutely crazy. But it still gets my number 5 sword. Also, charge it with 1 bullet. Very cool. Without a Riven. Basically, the way I can explain this build is like you add a Riven mode to the Torid. That, you know, this looks like a Riven mode Torid, and I don't have a Riven mode. basically. That's kind of how it feels like. It feels like you're adding a Riven mode to the weapon. So if I add a Riven mode to this and have like the actual weapon in, then yeah, it does get crazy. But sadly, the Riven modes for the Torid are extremely expensive because obviously when the weapon is already as strong as this one, and you add 5 Riven disposition to it, and you refuse to nerf it because you made an announcement that it's not gonna get nerfed ever, then those prices happen. And that's also kind of the reason Dark Sword skyrocketed in price. But Dark Sword also had the issue that nobody really had a Riven, but everyone wanted one. And as people started getting Rivens, then the price started stabilizing too. But yeah, you get what I mean. Now, this is still incredibly boring to me. There is some nuance to seeing like a lot of damage numbers, but I have a lot better weapons if I want to see many damage numbers. But you know, this one is really good. I will showcase a gun on the next video that replaced the Torid for me, at least. I don't think I would put it on the top 10 somewhere, not because it's bad, but because it's kind of the cheat, since the weapon that replaced the Torid for me, in order to be as good as the Torid and be there, you need to have a Riven mode. Like, Torid is still pretty good without a Riven mode, and using this build, you know, it can shred very easily. This build does not have a Riven mode, it just has a lot of investments, but no Riven, you know? And I want to be fair on that. I know the other weapon that I will showcase does need a Riven mode, and I know that if you add a Riven mode to the Torid, and you add a Riven mode to that weapon, it's actually gonna perform better than the Torid. But I still don't care, you know, I still think that if it's not like usable, or at least not usable, it's still usable. It's not, if it's not as good or like close to as good without a Riven mode, then that's kind of tricky. Because, you know, most of the guns, like 99.9% of the guns you will ever use, if you add the Riven mode, they don't magically transform into this Omega OP, like, unbeatable menace ever existed. And it's a lot of questions people ask me about the Dark Sword or the Salta. They're like, oh, what Riven I should get for this weapon? Or like, you know, do I need a Riven for this weapon or anything? You genuinely don't. You can easily damage cap with the Dark Sword or the Salta without a Riven mode and without crazy investment. You can. You genuinely can. I've done it 1,000 times before. And there are so many guns that also have that notion. Like, if you use the dual Toxicist with the Riven mode is much better, yes, but that doesn't mean it sucks without a Riven mode. It's the same for any type of gun you may think that you have a Riven mode on. The Ogris. Does the Ogris suck without a Riven mode? No. Desire? No. Envoy? No. But there is one weapon that there are some weapons, rather, that a Riven mode makes a lot of difference on them. Not because the Riven mode is like broken on them or it has excellent stats, but the best way I can describe it is that we have biotic rounds, right? Have you seen this? We have on weak point kill, gain viral and magnetic damage and status chance for 15 seconds. This is by far the strongest augment mode that has ever been released onto Warframe. Not because you get the pre-viral and magnetic damage or status chance or whatever, like, it's like the entire combination. You have to realize that in order to get this, by normal means, you need a 90% elemental mode, a 60% elemental mode that combines with a 90%, and then add 2 more for the magnetic damage. But the worst part about it is that even if you want to do this exact combination of viral and magnetic, like onto a weapon, you literally can't. If you want to go viral on the weapon, the element that you're left with is radiation. And if you want to add magnetic, you can add 60% magnetic by using the specific mode that we got with Warframe 1999 of magnetic capacity. It's gonna be 60%, not 150. So biotic rounds, by far the strongest augment mode in Warframe. And with the Riven mode, you can do something similar by adding multiple elemental statuses to the Riven mode itself to boost its potential. So yes, that weapon needs a Riven mode for that exact reason, to get multiple elements onto one single mode, to save mode space and give it more power. And a lot of people have already guessed it, they already knew about it, but I felt the need to explain it. So, thank you very much for watching, thank you for being patient with me all the time. I hope some people took the bait and we're gonna see some funny comments, and I really hope you guys get to watch the big video I've been working on. I'm very proud of it so far, and I think it's coming out great. Thank you for... Let's do that again. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.